I'm not a Rick Perry fan, but I wouldn't wish that on him.
Mixed feelings tonight about the indictment of the Texas governor. Good evening, I'm Greg Kerr. Thanks so much for being with us tonight. Kelly has the night off. Well, for the first time in almost a century, a grand jury is indicting a Texas state governor. Earlier today, a Travis County grand jury indicted Texas Governor Rick Perry on 2 felony charges: coercion of a public servant and abuse of his official capacity. The charges are linked to his efforts last year to force the Travis County District Attorney to resign after her arrest for drunken driving. Last summer, Governor Perry threatened to withhold more than $7 million from Rosemary Lehmberg's office unless she stepped down. He later carried out the threat by vetoing an appropriation in the state budget earmarked for the state's public integrity unit, which is housed in her office. Tonight, we are gathering reaction to the indictment against the governor.
I took into account the fact that we're talking about a governor of a state and a governor of the state of Texas, which we all love. Obviously, that carries a level of importance, but when it gets down to it, the law is the law and the elements are the elements, and the analysis is whether or not the facts meet the elements of the offense. I'm ready to go forward. My task is district attorney. In this case, the grand jury has spoken, and I'm going forward to carry out the duties that have been bestowed upon me.
And a statement from Governor Perry's counsel says, quote, "I am outraged and appalled that the grand jury has taken this action, given the governor's constitutional right and duty to the veto funding as he deems appropriate. This clearly represents political abuse of the court system, and there is no legal basis in this decision." The grand jury indicted the 63-year-old governor with abuse of official capacity, a first-degree felony, and coercion of a public official, another felony. A special prosecutor working the case says Perry will turn himself in next week. This is the first indictment of a Texas governor since 1917, when James Paw Ferguson was indicted on charges stemming from his veto of state funding to the University of Texas. KFDM is gathering local reaction tonight to the indictment. We spoke with a Democrat who was one of the most powerful Texas legislators during his decades he served in Austin. We also spoke with a Republican who is the general counsel to the Jefferson County Republican Party. KFDM's Kara Dixon heard their take on the indictments against Governor Perry. Kara?
Greg, it's no surprise tonight members of the Democratic and Republican parties in this area are split on the indictment of Rick Perry. I spoke with Rick Williams, a Republican Party leader, and with Carl Parker. He served with Perry in the legislature and went on to spend decades in Austin, first as a member of the House and then as a powerful state senator. We caught up with Parker at Lamar State College, Port Arthur, for their summer graduation, the final commencement before longtime LUPA President Dr. Sam Monroe retires. Parker was a keynote speaker. He says he hates seeing political figures indicted and wouldn't wish it on Perry, but he sees the Public Integrity Unit as the only body that is there to investigate corruption.
I hated to see Perry threaten the funding for it and carry it out. It just wasn't something he should have done.
Governor Perry, just like any other Texas governor in the past, has the veto power that's protected by the Constitution. So I found it to be a little bit strange, and it could be that it's, of course, politically motivated.
Rick Williams says it's too early to speculate on whether indictments would affect Perry's chances at running for president because it's too far down the road. Carl Parker told us he believes the indictments will affect his chances. Reporting live in the studio, Kara Dixon, KFDM 6 News.
Thank you, Kara. Now, KFDM's Justin Hinton spoke to Republican Congressman Randy Weber, whose 14th congressional district stretches from Beaumont to Freeport. Here's what Weber had to say about the indictment of Governor Perry.
If you want to follow the bouncing ball, so to speak, look back to what initiated this. It is her driving while intoxicated. The governor stepped up to the plate to do what he thought was best for Texas, and this is the way she reacts. In my opinion, she's made 2 bad judgment calls.
A Beaumont doctor who's a Republican Party leader in Southeast Texas tonight is telling KFDM News he believes Governor Perry will beat the charges. Dr. David Tischer says he's always heard good prosecutors say, quote, "You can indict a ham sandwich." Dr. Tischer says Texas governors have 2 powerful opportunities, the opportunity to appoint and veto power. The doctor told us these appear to be reasonable actions on his part to get a bad DA out of office. Tischer adds, I fully expect him to be exonerated by a jury of his peers. Tischer adds this will push the party base into aligning with him. He'll have to settle his legal issues to run for president. We still have plenty of time. The doctor believes Governor Perry's legal team will push for a speedy trial in the next 3 to 6 months. Right now, our Facebook page is blowing up with comments about the indictment. In fact, we've received well over 100,000 page views and over 100 comments. Here are a few of those. One comment reads, quote, "You have got to be kidding me. I stand behind Governor Perry." Another one says, quote, "What did he expect? He knew this wasn't under his office. There are other ways he could have gotten this done." Another one says, quote, "People need to applaud him for standing up and doing what is right. No criminal there." Another wrote, quote, "He needs to leave Texas." And the last one says, quote, "We in Texas love him, and what he's done here, we are in good hands with him." As always, you can visit our Facebook page to post comments on this story and go to KFDM.com to read the indictment. We'll keep you updated on our webpage and right here on KFDM News with the latest on this developing story.